Hello everyone, so in this video we are going to have some insights on online interview, try to understand what is panel interview, and we will also discuss the approach to be followed in such interviews. So the first question which can come to your mind is, why is there 3 panelists? The second thing which can come in your mind is, what the pencil and clipboard doing there, how they are going to evaluate and all. The third thing can be, do they judge all aspirant on the same set of parameters, or it differs for different aspirant, because different aspirant will have totally different experience of interview. They will go through totally different set of questions. Now the fourth question which might arise is, what are the etiquette I must follow? And the fifth one is, what are open-end and close-end questions? And do they already know about me? Do they know my name? So I should tell my name or not? Then the last one is, should I mention my name? Because they are already knowing it. So it depends whether or not you should mention your name. So we will approach these questions one by one. Now coming to the first question, what is the need of 3 panelists? So first of all, they will check your adaptability, as questions asked by them will be diverse and will vary. A particular person will focus on a particular aspect while the other person may focus on another aspect. For example, when you will take the interview, you will find that question pertaining to your academic career is asked by a single person, while the case study type questions is asked by some other person, while there will be some third person who will be observing you. He will be marking some numbers and will be very silent and observing you. So different panelists will have different function. Now they also check whether or not you are engaging with them all comfortably. Make eye contact when you speak with each interviewer. But in case of online interview, you can't make eye contact because there is a single camera. So in that case, you will have to use your voice. So what you can do, you can nod to their questions, listen to all, and make them feel that you are listening to them. Make use of your voice to connect to all, saying things like yes sir, exactly sir, etc. to make them feel that you are listening to each and every one of them. Now the another purpose is how candidate will operate in a group situation. Be prepared to handle cross talks from interviewers, because someone will tell something while the other will have a different view. Follow-up question can come. Suppose that an interviewer is asking you certain questions, you are replying to him, then again in between some other interviewer will ask you some questions. Take your time in answering that question, then very humbly come back to him also and answer his question as well. And interviewers will have potentially different opinions, so how better you deal with those opinions, that also you have to show. So this is the main purpose behind 3 panel interview. Now what the pencil and clipboard doing there? That is for evaluation, but how? Do they judge all aspirants on the same set of parameters? As different aspirants may go through different set of questions and the answers given by them also varies. So in a day, they will take interviews of at least 50 aspirants. So for doing so, they will have to demarcate certain parameters on which they are going to evaluate each and every person. Because awarding a random number on a random sets of parameters is going to create a lot of confusion. Then that is why, suppose you have these many aspirants, then each aspirants will be judged on set of parameters, for example, knowledge, interest, leadership, social orientation, ambition, etc. So I'm not saying that these are the only parameters on which you will be judged. You might be judged on confidence, on your communication skills, or other parameters. So I'm just setting an example that there can be different parameters on which you will be awarded out of 10 numbers, and after awarding you numbers on a set of parameters, say for example 8 in knowledge, 7 in interest, 4 in leadership, 3 in social orientation, and 7 in ambition, your cumulative total will come out to be 29. So that will be your score. So something similar to this is going to happen. The parameters on which they will judge you may vary from course to course. Now during their interview, they are going to look for something in you. Number 1 is personality or confidence, I would say. How you walk, but here you have online interview, so walk will not be there. Style of sitting, mannerism, whether or not you are addressing them properly, whether or not you are greeting them all. Then communication skills, body language, confidence. Some marks will be awarded on communication skill, body language and confidence. Then subject knowledge might be checked. Then team player, whether or not you are a team player, that will be checked. Then social orientation, clarity of goal, ambitions, etc. So these are some of the examples. I shared here also. Based upon these parameters, you will be judged and a number will be awarded to you. Different candidates will face different questions. Their answers will also vary, but interviewer will extract evidences of certain parameters while you speak and award you certain marks in each parameter. The sum total of marks will be compared to prepare the merit list. What are the etiquettes I must follow? For male aspirants, preferably wear a suit and light color shirt. Although your interview is online, but try to wear black shoe and belt, etc. So if you are thinking that the interview will be online so you can wear pajamas, then that is absolutely incorrect. You should be in your proper attire and take the interview very seriously. That shows your conviction and will raise your confidence. Now for female aspirants, you can wear formal suits or you can wear salwar suit. In case of salwar suit, it should be light and elegant colored. It is going to be online interview, so you don't really need to wear perfume or something. Now don't forget to wear a smile. It shows that you are confident, you are relaxed and stable, you are positive, energetic, enthusiastic, as well as warm and friendly. Now what are open-end and close-end questions? Open-end questions are questions that allow someone to give free-form answers, while close-ended question can be answered with yes or no. For example, have you completed your graduation? This is a close-ended question. So you can either say yes or no. But tell us something about yourself is an open-end question. So prepare the open-ended question quite well. An open-end question is an opportunity for you to take the discussion or mold the discussion to your comfort zone, as the follow-up question will be based on whatever you have spoken. So prepare open-ended question very carefully, and whatever you are going to say in the open-ended question, you should be prepared with a follow-up question on that particular thing. They have your DAF with them and they are aware of your name. But whether or not you should say your name, that depends. Suppose your name is Prateek and the question is, so Prateek, tell us something about yourself. So in that case, don't repeat your name. So they are addressing you with your name. So you repeating your name will be quite awkward. So you can either not tell at all. So you can say something like this. Sir, as you already know my name, that is Prateek Prasoon. Prateek actually means symbol and Prasoon means flower. So my parents thought that I was symbol of flower. That is why they named me Prateek Prasoon. So you can start with something like this if you really want to mention something about your name. And suppose they are just asking, tell us something about yourself, then you have the liberty to use your name. So if you have an interesting name, you can explain the meaning of your name and then introduce yourself. And while introducing yourself, something are important that we are going to discuss. But before that, I would like to say that your first impression is very crucial. In a survey of more than 2,000 hiring managers, 33% claimed to know whether or not they would hire someone within 90 seconds. So your first 90 seconds are very important. So to make a perfect first impression, you should first of all dress properly and then talk elegantly, greet all interviewers. Then you should be showing confidence in your voice. Your voice should be clear, and whenever possible, a smile is a must. Be polite, humble, and don't interrupt. Now, tell us something about yourself. I was discussing in that follow reverse chronology. Although it is not a must, but try to mention first what is important and then you can mention something which is not that important. But you need not follow this always. So you can start with your work experiences, graduation, then whatever you say, try to include experiences and learning. If you did your graduation somewhere, what are the experiences you gained? What are the learning you gained? Try to include that also. Then tell them something outside your academics. Apart from academic, what is there in you? Is there something you are passionate about? That will prove you are not only qualified but also interesting person. So if you have some hobby, please tell them. Now this is also very important. Avoid mentioning explicitly that you have good leadership qualities, you are a team player or a quick learner. Rather, during the conversation, give them evidences that you have such qualities. Give them evidences that you have leadership quality, you are a good team player or quick learner or whatever you want to prove, because that will substantiate your point. And for that, you can make use of some example, some experiences, etc. Now, why this course? Tell them a story, how you were inspired to take this course. Your story should be inspiring and engaging, because if you are able to engage the panel, then you are going to get good marks. Now, why TISS? So many people will be saying that it has one of the best courses in the country. Apart from that, go through the syllabus of the course you have applied for and see the pedagogy, how they are going to teach you, and mention that in your answer that you like the syllabus and pedagogy. That will prove or convince them that you have gone through the syllabus and you are a serious candidate. Now, future goals. They might ask you about the future aspirations or future goals. So in that case, you can divide your future goals or aspirations into three parts, that is short term, medium term or long term. In the short term, focus should be on learning. In the medium term, focus should be on gaining some responsible or leadership positions, and in the long term, your own initiatives. Some positive differences is going to come as you proceed in your career. Now, one more question which is very important is, what are your strengths and weaknesses? So for strengths, choose a strength that align to what they are looking for in ideal candidate. Substantiate that by citing life events as examples. For weaknesses, mention it as areas of improvements and let them know that you are trying to improve. Show them some measurable improvements. For example, some of the weaknesses you can mention is public speaking, fear of public speaking, then stage fear, unable to say no to someone, not able to multitask, lack of experience, etc. So you should be adding upon that my area of improvement is this, but I have been trying to improve over this shortcomings I have, and in past few years I have done something. We should show them that you are trying to improve. Now, your role model. This is also very important. Choose your role model or ideal based on their values, not just success. Do some background study about him. For example, it is always better to choose APJ Abdul Kalam, Rahul Dravid, etc., who have values in them. Dravid had consistency, perseverance, calmness, honesty, etc. Now, many people, they mention in their hobby that they have hobby of reading books. Some other people might say that they have an hobby of watching documentaries. So they might ask you a question directly, what is the last book you have read, or what is the last movie or documentary you have watched? So be very prepared for that. Mention good books you have read and share some insight from it to substantiate. Like Wings of Fire is a good book, like Sapien is a good book. So there are many books, fiction, non-fiction as well. So if you have some interesting hobbies, don't shy, rather share it confidently and show them that you have this hobby and you are quite well aware of that. So do not try to camouflage. They have been conducting interviews for years, so don't try to bluff them. Be honest and speak your conviction, the things you believe in. Suppose you have some gap year, so don't worry about that. No issue if you have gap years. If you are able to convince them you were using it in some positive way. Either you might have spent that time in overcoming some problem or aspiring for something bigger and better like UPSC. That is not a wastage of time at all. Rather, that is our endeavor towards a better career. So it is not our fault or something. At least we are trying to do something better. Then your involvement in something meaningful is what is they are looking for. Whether or not you have gained success, that is a totally different matter. Now career choice. Many people ask me that suppose I have made some career choice which is totally different to the choice I am making right now. So how will I justify? Suppose you are from a commerce background, now you are trying to get into HR, or you are from a medical background and now you are going to get into HR or some other courses. How will you justify that? So no issues if you have chosen some totally different career path. If you are able to justify, you can say this course will give you a better chance to explore your potential and can take you to a better place. So you just have to justify that. So prepare your own answers, and it should be in a positive way and it should be convincing. So why is there an interview at all? This is the fundamental question that comes to our mind, that if we had TISS-NET and we had TISS-PAT or TISS-MAT, then why is there need for an interview? So basically TISS-NET was there to make sure you get in the selection process. Whether or not you are competent enough to get through their course is assessed in the interview. You are better suited or some other person is better suited for that course, that they are going to judge. Now one important thing is case studies. Almost every interview will have one case study. So how to approach that? First of all, identify different stakeholders and their respective roles. Second, identify yourself in the scenario and be aware of the powers and functions you have. Analyze the demand of the situation, apply your knowledge and experience to come up with solutions. Identification of proper stakeholders and their role and possible way out of dilemma will give them evidence of clarity in your thought process, and they will award you better marks. So whatever 3 to 4 possibilities are there, you should try to mention that, and you should try to mention your clarity in thought process, then they are going to award you a better mark. So there is not exactly one answer to it, to any case study, that you should have done this or done that. Rather, how better you analyze the situation that is being judged. So this was all. Thank you. Thanks for watching.